So today we're going to talk about the first draft. We're going to go there. We're going to talk about it. It's so cold here today, so I'm like, I'm like a little cozied up here, but I'm warm. So if you're listening to this podcast, it means that you're a writer or you want to be a writer. And so I congratulate you for following your writing dreams and for being here and for listening to me today. I thank you. So many people have a desire to write, but they never get around to actually doing it. So here we are, we're doing it. We're making our dream a reality. So let's talk about the first draft of your book, okay? So what the heck is a first draft, right? What is it? It's the original manuscript. So you may be thinking, okay, so now that I've written my book, is it ready to be submitted to agents and publishers? Well, hold on just a minute, okay? Before you click send, print off your pages. This is what I recommend. Print off your pages and let them sit for like a day or 3. And then let them just look at you, stare at you in the face, leave them there, don't touch them. And then after a few days, pick it back up. It's like you're looking at it with fresh eyes. So you go back and you start rereading what you've written. Have a red pen handy because there's going to be things that you're going to come across that you want to change. And, if that's not your style and you don't want to print it, you don't have to. You can just set it aside. I'm sure you didn't write it by hand. Maybe you did. But if you wrote it, on the computer, you want to just save it, close it down, and leave it for a few days before you go back to do any edits. It'll refresh you. Okay? So, you're going to find grammatical errors, spelling errors, all kinds of errors. It would also help if, before you send it out to agents or publishers, or before you self-publish, that you have it looked at by an editor, like someone who does it professionally. Because you know what you're trying to say when you write your story. So even when you reread it, your eyes are not going to catch certain things because in your mind, you know what it's supposed to say. Does that make sense? So I would definitely have it looked at by a professional copy editor. But before you even do that, you need to go back through it with a fine-tooth comb and try and find, any errors and fix them yourself before you submit it to an editor. Okay? So, after you go through and you do your edits, and after you have it looked at by a professional editor, you can then move forward with your submissions. That is my advice to you. So if you're looking for a copy editor, I am a copy editor. If you know someone who's a copy editor, reach out to them and ask them, if they'd be willing to go through your manuscript with a fine-tooth comb. When I first started out, I wasn't a copy editor. And I had a friend who went to college and took some courses in it, and she actually went through my first 2 books for me and edited for me, and I was so thankful. So maybe you know somebody who would be willing to do that for you. If so, reach out, because the more eyes you have looking at it to try and find any errors, the better. I would suggest 2 or 3 people looking at it. So so the answer to the question that I proposed at the beginning, what is the first draft? It's just that. It's the first draft. It's not the final copy. So there you go. If you guys have any questions about anything that I've talked about today, please leave your questions in the comments. If you have any additional tips as far as maybe what you do when you finish your first draft, I would love to hear about it. We'd all love to hear about it because as writers and authors, we're here to support one another. All right? So let's support one another. All right? Have a great day.